Uri Geller's story is one of magic and mystery, fame and fortune, and a controversy that continues even today, after nearly 3 decades in which he has brought wonder into the lives of millions with his psychic gifts and electric personality. Uri was born in Israel in 1946. From his earliest years, he was painting life in vivid colours. He amazed and intrigued those closest to him with his metal bending and telepathic abilities. At 11, he went to school in Cyprus, where he also delighted schoolmates with tales of advanced beings, of a higher civilization, and of the wonderful scientific things that could and would be done by him. Dr. Joy Philippou recalls how she kept getting into trouble for letting the children out early when it was her turn to ring the bell for lunch. She had been baffled to find that her watch and clock hands had been advanced by about 15 minutes. Only later did she discover that Uri was doing this. Uri served as a paratrooper during military service in the Israeli army. He fought in the Six-Day War of 1967 and was wounded in action. His first public performance of psychic powers was in a Tel Aviv school hall in 1969. Fame came immediately, but so did fury, when in 1970 some of Israel's magicians said they could do what he did with conjuring, not psychic powers. That claim has repeatedly been made elsewhere, although many magicians who have investigated Uri's powers personally have insisted his abilities go beyond what they can explain. Scientists, too, have been split in their views. Many, such as London University physics professor Dr. John Hasted and the astronaut and moonwalker Dr. Edgar Mitchell, have concluded that the powers shown by Uri point to the need for a fundamental rethink of conventional ideas about the mind and its relationship with the material world. "I worked on this for 10 years, Professor Hasted said recently. Not just with Uri, but mostly with children who had seen him on television. They were too young to know that what he did was impossible, so they did it too. The metal bending effects were real." A long series of experiments at the Stanford Research Institute in California led the main investigators there, Dr. Harold Puthoff and Russell Targ, to declare, "Geller has demonstrated his paranormal ability in a convincing and unambiguous manner." Others, however, have maintained that if psychic powers really do exist, they ought to appear more clearly and consistently. Despite many attempts by skeptics to bury Uri's claims, Geller mania swept the world in the 1970s, and it continues to this day. Uri says psychic power is not just real, but in us all. It is a sixth sense, he says, which helps us enjoy the other 5 to the full, especially when we use it to align ourselves with the common good. Each one of us, he says, has the power to change the course of events in a positive way by changing our own thoughts and our state of mind. Uri himself is working for peace at an international level. He even senses us moving towards a dimension in which we no longer have physical bodies, but instead become like fields of consciousness, travelling towards the infinite. The important issue highlighted by Uri Geller, says one of his biographers, goes beyond spoon bending. It is whether a wider understanding of the power of the human mind can make a better world.